What is up, YouTube? My name is Eben, and today it is the Edge. And on the Edge, I have Swellow for you. It is an unusual card that I think a lot of people cracked open out of booster packs and very quickly just tossed into a pile where it will be planning to collect dust. And that's really a shame, because the more I think about it, especially with Ancient Origins coming out, this card is actually a lot more powerful than it looks. So let's take a quick look at it. It's a stage 1. It has 90 HP, and 2 attacks that have no effect whatsoever. Peck for 2 colorless energy deals 30, and Wing Attack, which does 50 for 3 colorless energy. It's weak to lightning, it resists fighting, and it has a 1 energy retreat. Kind of lackluster, I guess, at first, but it does have the Delta trait, Delta Plus. So anytime this Pokemon scores a knockout, it ends up taking an extra prize, kind of like Team Plasma's Lugia EX. Now, there are a number of Delta Plus Pokemon, and they're all pretty worthy of consideration because taking an extra prize is always powerful. But what makes Swellow rather unique is that it's a stage 1. Not only that, it's a colorless Pokemon. And, well, in fact, there's a lot about this card that's there to be liked. I mean, first of all, okay, its Peck isn't really the attack we're going to be going for. It's probably going to be Wing Attack, and that's 3 energy just for 50 damage. But remember, we live in a world with double colorless energy, so essentially that's a 2-turn power-up, which is just fine since it's a stage 1 Pokemon. That means you attach like a basic energy of some kind to Tailo on turn 1, and then you slap on that DCE and swing your Wing Attack on the second turn and you evolve. No problem. Alright, but that's not very impressive damage. But of course, with the new sets, Flareon, Jolteon, and to a lesser extent Vaporeon, we can easily hit for weakness on a lot of common Pokemon. That, in and of itself, I mean, if you factor in Jolteon and maybe, say, Lysander for a Shaman EX, I mean, you're already pretty much looking at knockout right there with any kind of a boost on your Swellow, as that 50 will already become 100, so any boost of any kind automatically takes us over that 110 we need to knock Shaman EX out. And that's 3 prizes on a very, very common Pokemon. And that's pretty important, and that's something worthy of note. But, of course, there's a little more than that going for Swellow, or else we wouldn't be talking about it today. For one thing, if you want to talk about expanded format, where the Eon evolutions are definitely making their impact felt over the past month or so, we can also talk about these 2 cards. In Expanded, these cards are perfectly legal. Silver Bengal ups Wing Attack to an impressive 80 damage, which with weakness is already 160 damage, which means that any boost, including from, say, just a regular old plus power, is enough to hit for 180, enough to knock most things out. And the ones it doesn't knock out, it seriously, seriously damages anyway. And all they're going to get if they revenge kill is 1 prize from Swellow. And of course, these aren't the only boosts we have access to. If you're feeling really daring, you could even access something like Iris, which doesn't sound like much, but when you combine it with Pokemon with Omega Barrage or potentially Delta Plus, this card can be a late-game swing that is definitely felt. And once again, remember, we're factoring in weakness here, where all of a sudden, say, a 30 or 40 point increase could mean a tremendous amount, because when it doubles, that 30 or 40 turns into, say, 60 or 80 extra points, and that's well worth playing a supporter card for the turn. Of course, if you want to stay in modified format, or you don't necessarily want to rely strictly upon Silver Bangle, there's always Muscle Band, which is 20 extra damage right there, or of course 40 with weakness factored in. But I guess part of what makes Swellow unique and very good is either they planned this in advance on purpose for it to have 90 HP, or it's just a happy coincidence, because that makes it a level ball target, and that's always rather nice, as it means we can easily search our deck not only for the Swellow, but the Tailo that comes before it, making it incredibly easy to get it up and running without ever missing a turn because we can't find the Pokemon. But, of course, Swellow's colorless, which, while it means it doesn't have anybody it can hit for weakness intrinsically, what it does mean is that we can even access cards like Winona to help us out. Winona can get Tailo and Swellow for you, all by herself, but she does search for 3 colorless Pokemon. If only there was some other colorless Pokemon that would be great to search out of your deck, and that you could use to further your game Oh, that's right. Shaman EX is a colorless Pokemon. Winona hasn't gotten as much attention as she really deserves, I think, but when you consider in this deck you could get your Tailo, your Swellow, and your Shaman EX. That could be a tremendous swing. In fact, this Shaman could easily power you into the boosting cards you need and or your double colorless energy, or other cards that might accelerate you to them instead. So we're talking about a deck that could be expanded, but could easily, just as easily, pretty much fit in modified format, and could be very aggressive and take a lot of prizes very quickly and be very difficult for opponents to argue with. And remember, even if Swellow goes down only dealing, say, 140 damage or so, the next Swellow that comes in could be very easy to build up, once again, especially running cards like these alongside it. You could get the next one up, and it could easily take a KO, even with its Peck attack, as that 140 or so from the first Swellow is definitely going to be hurt. In fact, even if you only did 100 with Wing Attack, that's still quite a bit, and a second one should almost surely be KO. So, till next time, like, comment, subscribe, check me out on Twitter if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.